Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Just a Girl and Her Knitting. My name is Heather, and you can find me on Instagram as Just a Girl and Her Knitting, and on Ravelry as KNITTINYO. I know it's strange, but I've had it for years. And I will link my other email and other Instagram, because I do have two of them, down below. Today is April 1st, 2024. I think that's all I usually do in the morning or in the opening. It's been a month, so, you know, and it's like 5:15 in the morning. I got up, I thought I'd gather all of my things and come sit down and talk to you guys for a little while, and then while I'm working I can edit and get it uploaded. So we have some finished objects, some whips, and some new. I know I've talked about my spinning before, but I actually have some to show in this episode, this video. But let's see, March. What do we do in March? So in March I went down to Moscow to go to the Cabin Fever spin-in, which is always a lot of fun. This year the turnout was amazing. There were so many people that it was hard to walk through the building, which is great. Like, it's held in one of the main buildings of the fairgrounds in Moscow, and over the years it's grown. So I went the very first time right before lockdown in March of 2020. Absolutely amazing and so much fun, and the support and seeing everybody and making new friends and learning things that I didn't know, and all of that kind of stuff was super duper fun. I did some shopping, not as much as I usually do. I didn't buy any sweaters quantities, which is fine. I still have like 4 sweaters quantities of yarn to knit through, which is fine. I don't need to buy. I did buy some fleece. I bought 3. I bought 3 and some already processed fleece, which we can talk about if you guys want to. I did get my very first llama blanket, which I'm really excited about. I've never processed or spun with llama, so this will be fun. I don't know if I'm going to blend it with something or not. I haven't decided yet. It's sitting upstairs in the living room. But I was able to get some spinning done. I got to talk to some friends. I got to make new friends. Moscow was great. It's always great. We got to hang out with our friends from North Dakota. Well, that moved to North Dakota. They got engaged that weekend that they came, which is exciting. But we hung out with them Saturday night, and then Sunday we came home. I worked for a week, and then I had surgery. Still recovering, doing okay. I for sure thought I was gonna get more knitting done. No, not at all. But I did get a whole bunch of socks grafted together, so that was good. The toes, Kitchener. So that was really good. Let's see what else. So I had my surgery, which was just a minor surgery, thinking. Then what else? Oh, my husband worked on the basement, so we now have drywall in, almost all the drywall in the bathroom. So we're adding 2 rooms to our basement. We have 2 bedrooms. We are adding a game family den room. I don't know what you call it. It's just going to be a room with our freezer and a desk and his PlayStation and his monitor and stuff, and maybe my sewing machine will live in there. I haven't decided yet. Right now it lives in the hallway. I have a very thin IKEA desk and it sits on there. But anyways, we haven't decided what that room's gonna be yet. And then we're adding in the bathroom. So we've drywalled and all that in the first room, but we got a lot of the drywall up in the other room. My father-in-law came over and helped him since I couldn't lift anything. Then my husband got COVID. So he started feeling bad on Saturday, he got COVID. So we didn't really do much because I had surgery, he had COVID, we were kind of trapped in the house for 2 weeks. We did go out to the lake Saturday. We went out and we sprayed for weeds so that it's ready when we go to pull our trailers out. When we put them in their parking spots, we don't have to worry about weed whacking or any weeds coming up for the season. Hopefully in the next couple of weekends we can go out and pull them out. Even if we're not staying in them, if we can just get them pulled out of the garage, pulled out of the shop. I guess it's a shop. I don't know, it's bigger than my house. It houses all of our trailers and our boats. Well, and the boat. Houses like 4 trailers, a boat, golf cart. Like, it has all the things in it. But we're hoping we won't turn water on yet, just in case it's gonna freeze, because April, let's see, we have birthday, my mother-in-law's birthday is in April. We have working on the basement. Hopefully we can pull trailers out one weekend. I don't think we have anything major planned. Dog gets to go to the vet on Friday. I'm renewing my driver's license on Friday. Exciting things. I'm a very exciting person, let me tell you. Anyways, so I've rambled for 10 minutes about things. So let's get into what we have been making, finishing, starting, not finishing. I'm wearing my everyday cardigan. We'll start with that. I'm wearing my everyday cardigan by Christine Archer Designs. I just threw it on over the Post and Office t-shirt. This is a little bakery and coffee shop in this town of Harrington, Washington. Honestly, I don't know how to get there from here, but from the lake I know how to get there, and we like to go and have a snack on Saturdays from them. It's really small. It's a really small town, and so supporting the little local towns around the lake where we go is always a lot of fun. I have my coffee, just my basic great value, whatever it is, donut shop with peppermint mocha creamer. That's how I'm rolling right now. We have some finished objects. I thought at first, I was like, I haven't gotten that much done. I really haven't. There's no way, as I'm pulling everything out. And then I realized it's true. I really did finish quite a bit. Most of them are going to be socks. My sock game is pretty on point because of my machine. Vanilla socks, vanilla socks seem to have gone by the wayside at this point by me, because I don't want to knit them by hand when I can just crank them. I have a few pairs of vanilla socks on the needles that I'm considering ripping out and cranking them. One of them being the Gonzaga socks that I started. I haven't decided yet. I'm still debating on that. I was looking, well, I wasn't looking. I was going around in my little hidey hole spots looking for yarn to put on cones so I can crank some more socks this week. So there's that. But yeah, most everything's gonna be socks, dishcloths. I did finish a sweater. Can't show you the front of it, but I sure as heck can show you the back of it. But it is finished. Pictures are taken. I submitted the form on Google and it didn't take, so I have to redo it all. Which is fine. I did figure out my sock dilemma with my Lycra, but let's just get into it since we're talking about it. So first we'll start with my dishcloths. I haven't woven the ends, but I may have my mother-in-law do it one day because she likes to do it. sometimes I do it. So another Knit Picks Dishy. Almost all of them are going to be Knit Picks Dishy. I'm almost out of it. I was reaching to get the next one to start today's, so I start them on the 1st, and I realized that I'm almost down to just scrubby yarn, so that's fun. And I noticed, well, I realized I put everything out in front of me. I had it all piled behind me, but I put everything out in front of me. Now I can't find what I'm looking for. Oh, there it is. So I realized I've never said what kind of crochet or what size and kind of crochet hook I use. So I use the Tulip Atimo 8 5.0 millimeter. I really like the little grippiness of it. I like the handle, and I like the hook. There's some hooks that I feel are too deep, some aren't deep enough, but I really like this one. I have 2 of them. I use this one for my dishcloths and my DK worsted weight blankets, and then my other one I use I have a 3 millimeter for like my sock yarn blankets. So I have a granny square blanket that's on a work in progress. It's been a work in progress for a while. It's just sock yarn scraps. I make a magic knot ball and I just crochet and crochet, crochet. So these are done, which is exciting that I'm staying on track with my, So this finished pair of socks that I'm going to show you. The reason why I'm showing you is it's because my next finished object is the sequel to these socks. The pattern releases, I don't think it releases today. I think it releases on the 5th. But the reason why I'm showing them, because Nancy Wheeler of Knit Sit Pappy, who designed these socks, donates the first 8 days of her pattern sales to a Canadian charity. She's Canadian. And so this pattern and the charity is for breast cancer, Canadian Breast Cancer Awareness, one of the charities there. And so last year, she designed a pair of socks for the last season of, like, her socks were inspired by the last season of The Marvelous Miss Maisel. And so these are called Tits Up. And, you know, you have her like pinstriping in her outfits. You have these little tiny boobies that run up on both sides. And they're super fun. A lot of fun. But so she designed these last year. Well, she went ahead and came up with a sequel to these socks, which are called Titty Gaga, and the pattern is going to release, I think it's April 5th. I'm almost positive. But definitely, if you've never knit a Nancy pattern or you don't follow Nancy, Knit Sit Pappy is what her Instagram, everything is. Hop on over there. She's hilarious. And her patterns are so fun. I knit them so fast. And I don't know what it is about it, but I can finish a sock in a day when I knit them. And these are 72 stitch socks, knit on size 2.25 millimeter needles, but they just go so fast. So here is the sequel to Titty Gaga. So you have a 1x1 cuff. You have these, they look like little boobs. Little boobs there. Let me see if I can turn this so you guys can see the cabling as well. Sorry. And then this yarn that I'm knitting is Alexandria, the Art of Yarn. She was down in Moscow. But they kind of look like little nipples, like little boobs growing up. And there's no cabling in this sock. So Tits Up was a 1x1 cable, but this is just slip stitches and yarn overs to get it. And then on the back, same thing. There is just a super cute panel that runs down the middle of the back of the sock. So these are fun. I've held on to these for almost a month. They've been done for almost a month. I know I talked about it in last month's podcast, where I had tried to knit this yarn into those other socks and it didn't work. You couldn't see the tits. You couldn't see the boobs very well. Let me see if you can see them. If I'm sitting here struggling. Yeah, so you couldn't see the little boobs. And so I used polka dot sheep out of Whitefish, Montana for those socks. That's that yarn and some scrap yarn. So these ones are Alexandria, the Art of Yarn. The pink is in her superwash merino cashmere nylon, and then the purple is just a mini that she sold. It's sold as a guilty pleasure set. It usually comes with a few patterns, free patterns when you buy the set. I've had it since my very first cabin fever spin in 2020. So it's nice. I'm happy to finally have these socks finished. And the proceeds of the first 8 days go to a good cause. So I was really excited about that. She does it every pattern that she releases. She donates the pattern for like the proceeds for a week to a different Canadian charity, which is really cool. She's a winemaker in Canada. She has a podcast. I watch her podcast all the time. So my next pair. So I'm going through. So that pair's for me, and then this pair's for my mother-in-law for her birthday. I'm doing all the ones on the same sock blockers now. And then all the rest are going to be for my husband. All the socks, the rest of the socks are for my husband. So I finished this pair of socks, a pair of shorties. I knit these on my machine, crank them on my machine. And this is out of Cozy Toes, the yarn I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby for $1.24 a ball. So they almost match. I don't know that she cares if they match. So I guess I can explain. Okay, so I do a heel tab sock. I think it's easier to see when it's off. So there's a little tab to help keep, I don't know what it's for, but they're nice to wear when you wear shorties. It's nice to have these so your heel's not rubbing and your socks aren't sliding down. So it's a 15 round cuff. Then you do your heel tab, which is just a really short toe. Just go back and forth. You lift up your needles. Then you do 15 more rounds, and then you hang the hem. I did 15 rounds for the leg, a deep heel, because with shorties, you need a deep heel or they fall down. I cranked for her foot, and then I did her toe, which is also a short row toe. It's very similar to the heel tab. You can, if you want your stripes to line up, crank your toe on the back of your machine, so when you fold it, it matches. I don't care enough to mark my cylinder. To mark my cylinder to do that. I have it marked how I like it. Right now we're just leaving it. So, but these are done. These are for her birthday. I have to do her Mother's Day socks. I haven't decided what ones I'm going to do yet. I got out some yarn to show and talk about and get some ideas for them. And those are going to be my future plans. I have a few other things out. So, let's see. I guess socks are left. Okay, let's talk about the sweater, and then we'll do socks. So I used Woolies. There we go. Woolies. I bought these like 30% off in February. It was like they were on sale online, and if you did in-store pickup, you got an additional 20% off, 30% off, something like that. So it came out to roughly $3 a skein. And so I bought 12. I was worried about dye lots, and with Joann's and stuff, I couldn't go in and pick my dye lots because they'd already had it already. So I originally ordered 9. The pattern releases on April 26th, and so I'll be able to show it then. I have my finished object photos and everything done. But, can you guys see it? This is the back. I can't show you the front yet, but you can see in the differences, which it turned out okay with the two different, with one being lighter. When you're out inside, you don't see it as much, but it was a lot of fun. The sweater's done, which was really nice to get that off the needles, although I enjoyed it. And then I signed up for another test knit, which is my works in progress, which is entirely different from what I've ever did. But let's get back to socks. There's a lot to get. Now, all these socks that are left are going to be for my husband. They're all going to be, all but one is cranked on my machine. All but 4 pairs are going to be, well, the others are going to be the bamboo pop sock with lycra. So we'll start with the ones that are not the bamboo pop. So in my very first episode, I showed a pair of these. These are Desert Vista Dye Works in her Fireworks colorway. I did, so it's a little harder to see, but I used the contrast. So it came with contrast, which I can show you because I still have it on my cones. I haven't taken it off. So I did 20 rounds. I haven't woven my, did I woven that? No, I haven't woven the ends on this one. I did on the other one. So I did 20 rounds of the contrast, and then I did 10 rounds of the main color to give it kind of a little pop of color at the top. I think that's fun. It's kind of like when you do it with by hand knitting socks, where you just knit a couple rows up top with your main color or with your contrast color, and you just have a little pop. So it's the contrast. Let me grab them. So here's the color. So this is a contrast. I'm dropping them. And this is the main. So this one I did 20 rounds for the cuff, and then I switched to 10 to make my 30, like I always do. I do a 30 round hung hem on almost all my socks. And then I did, so this is 30, and I didn't reset my counter. So I cranked 100 rounds for his leg, did a deep heel right here. And then I was supposed to do only 88 rounds for the foot, and then 2 rounds for the contrast. I forgot. I did 89 when I realized what I was doing. And so I just cranked 89 rounds and then did my 2 rounds. So his foot's a little bit longer than usual with these kinds of yarns. But these are done. They're a lot of fun. He'll wear them on 4th of July. When we go do a 4th of July parade, and he looks ridiculous in his little outfit. I think I'm buying him Crocs for his birthday. His birthday's in June. I think I'm going to bite the bullet. He always says, no, don't buy them for me because he'd only wear them once a year. But I think that would be hilarious. Even if I only bought them for him for one day a year. I finished my Yarnable DK socks that I'm calling, what did I call them? Jump into Spring socks. So we have 2x2 ribbing, this 4-row repeat of this textured stitch on the front. I know it's a little hard to see it. I turn my lights on. Can you see it better now? Sorry, I was shaking the camera. Maybe I can stabilize that one. I guess you can kind of see it a little bit better. It's literally just knits and purls, then a heel flap, gusset, and then a regular toe. We have two. This is what I have left of the main and the contrast. I think I finished with about 10 grams per skein. One is the green is 100 grams and the red was 50. But these will be fun for him in the winter. He likes to wear the thicker socks, like DK and worsted weight socks in the wintertime. Sometimes his feet get cold at work. So here's another pair of socks. These are also cranked on my circular sock knitting machine. You can see the little pop of color a little bit better here. So it's the same 20 rounds and then 10 rounds, but because this one is so much more different, some is quite a bit different in coloring, you can see it better. But the same 100 deep heel, 88 foot short row toe, and I just used a random skein yarn I've had for years in this brown. I've been using it for a lot of contrast heels, toes, and cuffs. So here's this pair. This one is out of Coastal Yarns. They are a dyer and yarn shop in Cannon Beach, Oregon. They're Seeker Waves. It's a 80-20 superwash merino, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's 387 yards, so it's a little bit smaller of a skein. It's partly also why I used contrast, so I could make sure I got what I needed. And the colorway is Haystack Rock, which that's Haystack Rock. It's also from the Goonies. I love that store. It's so small. It's so mighty. It's so cute. It's in this little like shopping center in town. It's just cute. But we picked these out a couple years ago when we were in Oregon. We went to Haystack Rock. Okay, well, we went to Cannon Beach just to go to this yarn store. And then we went and walked out and saw Haystack Rock. My husband had never seen it, so we went. But here these are. These are fun. I need to wash them. So I know a lot of people, when they do socks, they don't wash and block their socks. They don't wash their socks prior to use. I always wash and block socks, especially hand-dyed socks, because I worry about them bleeding. And so I will, like the 4th of July ones, the Firecracker by Desert Vista Dye Works, her yarns are usually set really good, but sometimes the darker colors, they bleed, and they bled a little bit. And so I put color catchers in my water when I was blocking, and then I sent them through my machine and dried them a little bit to bring the they were a little long on the soft blockers, but as soon as I dried it, they were fine. But I always worry because I don't separate out colors when I knit. When I wash socks, I always send them through by themselves when they're finished. I'll soak them and then I'll rinse them and, you know, do all that because I don't want them to bleed onto my other socks. And so I'll take the time out to do that, and then generally after that, they're good to go for the next however many washes and wears, and they're not bleeding on all the other socks that I've made. I've had a couple do that. Actually, last year I did Tea with Bridgerton Advent, and one of the yarns I used bled all over. I still wear them, but it was a little frustrating because I thought, oh, I'll be fine. And after that, I got color catchers to make sure, especially when I'm knitting like big projects like shawls and sweaters, and if I'm doing multicolors. So I have done a few all over colorwork sweaters, and one of the yarns I used a really pretty gray and a pink from Madelinetosh. And I've had some bad experiences with Madelinetosh bleeding. I would have hated for that to happen. So now I do it all the time. So here is another pair. These are 75-25. These are not fitting on the blockers very well. These are a pair that I need to wash and put in the dryer to get them to come back to correct shape. I don't know what the heck's going on with them. Anyways. So I bought this yarn when we had our little local spin-in up in Green Bluff. Up at Green Bluff. I don't know if Green Bluff's a town. I don't think it's a town. But anyways, we had a little local spin-in. My spinning group put it on at the Grange up in Green Bluff, and it's only a few miles from here. And so there was a local to me dyer, Lyrical Yarns. She dyes yarns based on songs. And so I don't remember what this song was. I have her tag somewhere. I think it's down in my bucket, but I don't want to get it. But I thought these would be fun. I made them for my husband. I bought them. So this is the only yarn I bought that day. I did buy one fiber braid, which I'll show later. But as same thing as all of them. 30 round hung hem, so 15-15 hang it. 100 for the leg, deep heel, 90 for the foot, and a short row toe. They don't match, which, yeah, they don't match, which is fine. He doesn't care. So these ones I think are going to go in the water to get blocked and dried in the machine here in a little bit. This might be the pair that goes in today. I have this pair that I need to do, and I have the coastal yarns I need to do, and then I have the yarnable DK socks that I need to do. I'm just gonna keep throwing those back there. So now there's all the short socks, and then I think I'm almost done with all my finished objects. So when I say all the short socks, so prior to having surgery, I made it a point to get all these socks cranked. So all I had to do was Kitchener toes together and weave in ends. And I did that after I was recovered enough from surgery to know what the hell I was doing. That was tough for a few days. I had a really tough time. So I got all of these done except this pair. I ran out of black yarn. I thought 2 balls was enough. 2 balls wasn't enough. So I ran out. And so I had to wait on it. And I kept going back and forth. I'm like, I don't want to order $10 yarn because these bamboo, Universal Pop bamboo yarn balls are only $10 a ball, which isn't bad. That's a really good price, I think. But when shipping is $7, I'm not paying almost the same amount of money for a $10 ball of yarn to ship it. So I was holding off and I was holding off, and then I signed up for a test knit and I needed to buy some yarn because I didn't have enough yarn. And so I went to Jimmy Beam. I think it's Jimmy Beam. I struggle with that name every time. And they had some. And since I was ordering yarn for a test knit, it's free shipping over $100. So I got my yarn. But one of the things I wanted to show you guys is how different the Lycra works, or how different an activated sock with Lycra is. I think that's how it goes. So this sock is knit with Lycra. Sorry, my son was walking out the door and was saying bye. So anyways, so here is a sock. I knit this sock with Lycra. You can kind of see the white. Do you see just a little bit of it? Kind of. You don't see it down here, but you see it in the black. So anyways, so this was knit with Lycra. And this sock is knit with Lycra. But once you heat activate the Lycra, look at how much it shrinks it. That is quite a bit. That is quite a bit. So it actually, it still stretches. It still has a lot of stretch, but it shortened, it definitely changes it. So like this one is a little long for the sock blocker, so they're all going to be the same. The only difference is this one is has not been activated. I have not ran this through the machine and through the dryer. So 15 round heel tab, 15 round leg, deep heel, 100 for the foot on these, and then the short row toe. The reason why I did 100 is because they shrink up so much. Like I originally did 90 on a pair, and they pulled the leg down too far. So these ones are 100. And so now I have to, I'm gonna put this one away because this one chipped. So now I have to just send that pair through and activate it. I'm thinking about one of these times trying it on regular, like a superwash yarn. I'm thinking about doing it for the niece and seeing how they fit. Just knit her socks at my normal gauge for like me, and then add Lycra. So here it is with the Lycra, and it activated. So this one matches. All of them are going to be the same. 15 rounds on the cuff, hung hem, deep heels, 100 rows on the foot. This pair I had knit him, I think I showed it last time, maybe I didn't. I had knit them with the heel spring engaged, and they ended up way too tight that I need to trim. He got them on, but they were tough and they loosened up. So I ripped them out and I redid them. Another pair. But this time I added Lycra, 100 rows, activated it. So these ones, you've seen these before, guys. This set right here were the ones that I had tried before, and I failed because they just stretched out way too much. So I ripped them out. Again, I don't mind ripping them out because it won't take me very long to reknit them. So I went ahead and reknit them. That is not on the sock blocker that well. So I redid these for him. Still not on the sock blocker very well, but that's okay. Which, here we go. It is warm down here. The heater is on. The heater is literally right above me. The heater vent. Not 100% sure why they put that there when they installed it when we got a new furnace, but I would have thought they would have put it over there or over there. Who knows? So here's a purple pair with my hair. Definitely knitting my hair into it. Another pair. So I used up almost all of my bamboo pop sock. I have, I think, enough on them on cones now to knit one more pair of scrappy socks. I don't even know what goes with what. I guess technically it doesn't really matter, does it? Because they're scrappy. So he doesn't care if his socks are scrappy. He just wanted them, and I didn't want to have a whole bunch of little balls left around. So I cranked Scrappy, and then so this pair must go together because they ended at about the same. So everything's the same. Oh no, because that ended it. I don't know. So Scrappy, another Scrappy, and more Scrappy. So he has, there's enough on one more cone over there that I should be able to get another pair of Scrappy socks out of it for him. So that's all of that. I don't know how many, I didn't count them. 1, 2, 4, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So 8 pairs of cotton socks, 2 per 16 socks. So that's 8 pairs of socks there. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pairs of socks are finished. I have a hoe finished, but my mother-in-law has it because she's embroidering flowers on it for a test knit, another test knit. So those are all of my finished objects. That's all of them. Put it up there. And I have a mound behind me. So let's talk works in progress, not progresses, progress. So I'm trying to decide where I want to start. I guess we'll start with this because while I got some work done on it, I don't feel like I got a ton. I am actually pretty far. So this is I knit this during our meetings. We have a Tuesday meeting every week. It's about 30 minutes. Then I can knit without looking. And so I work on this. I did switch out needles, and so it's on bigger needles finally. I don't remember where I was, but so this is January's main color, January's contrast, February's main color, February's contrast, and I have my book. Let's look at my book, shall we? Eight rows from switching yarns to the next color, which I have and I'll show you. So this is February's contrast yarn, which is right here. Super pretty. It's a really pretty blue. So that will be worked on. I hope, let me grab this up here. Yarn for March. I'm hoping to get caught up. I've been writing out how many rounds it's taking. So once I get caught up, February and March caught up. So yeah, so I have 8 rounds left for the February color, and then for March I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the contrast. So 21 rounds. I figure if I can knit at least 1 round a day in the month, I should be able, once I get caught up, because, well, it's April 1st and here I am not caught up with March. I will definitely have some time later, especially this summer when I'm out at the lake, that I can definitely get caught up. But for right now, or just knitting during meetings, our Tuesday meeting, our Wednesday meeting, Thursday meeting. Those meetings we only have, the Wednesday and Thursday we only have once a month, but they're longer, so it gives me a little bit more time, as long as I'm on just the regular knit rows. So this is March's colorway. It's called Here We Grow Again. It's this really pretty purple and blue. I'm test knitting for Only the Good Things. She designed the chicken socks that I knit, I don't know, a couple months ago. So she came out with another pattern and it's super cute, but I'm using this color as the socks, so I can knit my get March socks done. I have one done. Like I said, my mother-in-law is embroidering the flowers for me because I didn't want to do it, and I asked her if she'd do it. She said yes, so here we are. So once I get that back, the pattern is also due on the 5th, so I wonder if that one comes out on the 5th as well. I don't know. When they tell me it's time to go, I post it, do all my things. So if you're interested in those patterns, definitely follow me on Instagram and I will post them when they are available. So then the contrast is this really pretty yellow. It's called Buttercup. So here's the two colors together. So this is the main color, contrast. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait. Can't wait to get going on that. Another project that another whip that I'm going to have. So in doing all the cotton socks, I keep shaking my computer, or my desk, I'm sorry guys, and shaking the camera. So in doing that, I went through and I was cranking socks and I realized I didn't have very much of this one left. I didn't have any more balls of this because I had hand knit him socks out of this. I'm curious how much I do have though. And so with that being said, I was worried that I wasn't able to crank these into a pair of socks. I didn't really want to add it to the scrappy socks because I think it will give me way too much. And so I went ahead and I cranked them. Oh, all of his are cranked on 72 stitch cylinder, if I didn't say that. So I cranked all of it and I put it on waste yarn. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add heels, toes, and cuffs to these. So I'll put in a toe, I'll put in his cuff, and I'll put in a heel, and I'll use the black yarn and I'll hold it with the Lycra and I'll just knit it by hand. This from here to here is about 7.5 inches, and that's about what I need for his foot. So I may have to put in the toe and then add in like a fish lips kiss heel and then finish the leg. I don't know. We'll think about it. Talk about it. We'll think about it. We'll figure it out. This might be, after I finish my test knits, this might be what I work on in between at work, like my breaks and stuff, if I'm not cranking socks. Okay. Because I always have a pair of socks on my desk that I work on in between and during breaks and when my computer system goes down, because that happens often lately. It's kind of annoying. So my last physical knitting whip, work in progress, is in this bright ass yellow Delicue snap bag. La Bien-Aimée. How come I can never say it any other time? But I love Delicue snaps. I love Delicue anything. I have, you can kind of see it, so let's see if I can turn it. Welcome to Heather's world of nonsense on her shelves. So I'll raise my camera. So right there, well, there's a llama, alpaca. So right there is my Delique train case that houses one of my electric eel wheel nanos. It's right in there. Bought it just for me. So I have that. I have like 4 of the purses. I have a backpack. I have a ton of these snap cases. I just love them. Oh. Speaking of which, I have one down here. That's what was housing my, or holding my Jump Into Spring socks. This was one that they teamed up with Yarnable and did in black. Anyways, so when I ordered from Jimmy Beams, I was looking and I wanted to make sure I got free shipping. This was $6. I didn't think it was going to be this big, but when I opened my package and it was this big, I was like, yes. I love it. So we are working on another test knit. This test knit is for the Little Wolf Knits, Brianna Lupino, and it's a pair of thick Beachcomber Flares pants. I'm knitting my first pair of pants, guys. And I was looking for yarn, and I don't know if I'm gonna, I know I'm gonna like them, but I don't know I'm gonna like them. It's weird. I've never knit pants, but I do love yoga pants. I live in my yoga pants. I have my yoga pants on right now, even. So I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on something if I wasn't sure. And so looking on Jimmy Beans, because I looked at Brianna's site, I looked at Needles at the Ready, I looked at all these indie dyers, and I was like, $200 for pants? I can't justify it. So when I was looking on Jimmy Beans, because I knew I needed my black, I found Earth Yarns in their monochrome DK is what it's called. It's going to be a superwash 100%. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Monochrome, yeah, DK. It's a DK. It's 100% superwash extra fine merino. I don't know how often I'm going to wear these. I want to wear these all the time. We'll see. But I bought this what I thought was brighter yellow, but it's yellow. It will be fun. Kind of reminds me of extra butter popcorn, like the Act 2 extra butter. And then I bought this gray. So this yellow was $16, and I bought 5 skeins. I bought this gray. This gray was normal price. It was like $28. So the main color of these pants were only, 5 times $16. So it ended up not being nearly as expensive as I thought it was going to be. And I still got my free shipping, and I got my bag, and I think I spent a total of $144 on everything, which is a lot better than $200 just for yarn. So anyways, so I'm knitting the 32-inch waist. It's supposed to have a lot of negative ease, so I'm trusting Brianna on this. She picked out the size for me. I gave her my measurements. She picked out the size. So it starts with a rolled hem. So you provisionally cast on, you knit, you purl, you then knit, and then pick up the stitches and fold it and knit it all together. And then you knit the waistband. So this is the waistband. You knit it, and then you start on the increases for the waist, or the bum, or the hips, I'm not sure. But so I started helically knitting just for a little bit, and then I'm now doing nothing but the yellow. But all this will be covered up by the waistband, because then it will be like this. So once you get down further, this will be covered, and you'll just have that little bit of yellow pop at the top, and then the rest of the pants are going to be this. So we shall see. So I got gauge on the size 5. It's like 20 stitches to 4 inches on size 5, and then I'm on my size 6s on my bamboo needles. But so that's pants so far. I started these the other day, which I got pretty far. I think they're gonna be fun. I think I'm gonna like them. I hope I'm gonna like them. My goal on these are to have them done by the time we go on vacation, because we're going to the beach. We're going to Seaside, Oregon, the week of my birthday. So I'm hoping to have these done that week so I can then take finished object photos on the beach, since they're beachcomber flares. That's my goal. We'll see if it happens. So, sorry guys, I got a little crazy there. So my last two work in progress. What do you call spinning progress? Spinning, I don't know, sips? Spins in progress? Because it's whips. If you say spins, then it's sips in progress. Am I making this up? Probably. So we have some spinning. I've talked about it a couple times, but I do spin. I have a Silhouette S10 single treadle wheel. That's my big wheel, as I always call it. Her name's Dottie. She is the one that I took with me down to Moscow. My husband was so gracious and he strapped her in to the car seat. He like buckled her in so she didn't go anywhere, which I loved. So I have one bobbin finished. So here's another bobbin that I'm working on. So this is fiber that I got in Moscow last year. And it's a Shetland wool. It's from Thistledown's Shetlands and wools. So Joyce is adorable, and her friend Janet is also adorable. So Joyce and her husband have these Shetland sheep, and her friend, I think it's Janet, also has sheep. Janet's from my hometown, from the town I grew up in. And so they always been together side by side. They're friends. They send their wool, their fleeces, to what used to be a local mill to me. It was in Post Falls. One of my spinning ladies, she owned it. They recently sold it because they were retiring. But she processes all their wool into like pencil roving. So it's easy to spin. So you're just spinning very thin roving that's all ready to go. And it's always such a beautiful, they're beautiful colors. They're beautiful. It spins so wonderfully. I struggle with spinning on my big wheel, as I always call it, merino. I can't spin merino for some reason. I don't know if it's just too soft or what, but I always just end up, it breaks or it gets pulled out of my hands or whatnot. So Shetland, I can spin really well on my Silhouette, on my big one. Merino usually goes on my Eel Wheel Nano because I can spin that on that pretty finely. So this is how much I got done when I was down in Moscow. So this was a completely empty bobbin. I did get I wanted to get more of this so I could do a 2-ply with it, but she didn't have any more. She thought she had it, but she didn't have it. She forgot. She didn't bring it with them. And so we picked out a different one. It's very similar in color, so it's going to be a very nice 2-ply. It's about the same color. It's upstairs. I didn't bring it down because it's in a bag and it's loud and obnoxious. So once I get it done, it will be a 2-ply. I think I want to make a sweater out of it. It's probably going to be about a fingering weight to sport weight. We'll see once it's done and bloomed and everything. Another thing that I've been doing is I don't typically show what I buy or when I buy it, because that's kind of, I don't know, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not. So when we were doing the Green Bluff fiber event festival thing, I got this from Palouse Yarn Company. It's 4 ounces of hand-dyed rambouillet. It's grown in the US, dyed in Moscow, Idaho. Shelly, the owner of the Yarn Underground, dyes it. So I have this braid. I take off about the staple length of it right here. And then I have this ridiculously small 3D printed Turkish spindle. So I have some lotion. So I have this lotion. That's how big it is. And I'm just spinning it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my storage bobbin I have upstairs. I'm just going to keep spinning it. It's going to take me a long time to get through 4 ounces at this rate. But that's okay. It's just fun. It's ridiculous. It's literally a micro spindle. And I'm having a blast with it. Could I put this on my wheel and get it done? Absolutely. Am I going to? Absolutely not. I am going to spin this yellow fluff on this tiny little spindle. I am going to have a blast doing it. So, those are all my whips. Those aren't all my whips, but those are my whips that I'm working on right now. Those are the important ones, the priorities. My blanket, my advent blanket's still going. My shawl, I haven't worked on since I have these test knits. If I finish these pants early, then I'm going to pick back up my shawl. One of my plans of possibly not test knitting unless I'm test knitting socks in the month of May is because I want to spend the time finishing my Stephen West shawl. So hopefully nothing just jumps out and is like, Heather, knit this. Because I really want to knit a shawl. I work on a few other things. So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to log in for work and then I'm going to jump back on. A couple plans that I have, I guess, for this month. Or a couple of things that I want to get done. So one thing I grabbed is, because usually when I talk about my dishcloths, I've already finished my dishcloths. I don't show you them at the beginning. So I went ahead and grabbed it, which I literally, upstairs in my living room, it's my yarn closet, cabinet, whatever. And I know exactly where my cotton yarn is. And I just reach in the dark and I just reach and grab something. And so today's mystery skein was this Knit Picks Dishy in the sailboat colorway. I really like the Knit Picks Dishy. It's super soft and it doesn't hurt my hands as bad as some like the Lily Sugar and Cream and Peaches and Cream. I think is that what it's called? Cotton yarn, but this is this April's dishcloths that I'm going to cast on. So there's that. So then I also need to figure out what yarn I'm going to use for my mother-in-law for her Mother's Day socks. So we'll be coming back from our trip the day before Mother's Day, because we'll be coming back on the 10th, the 12th, something like that. No, the 10th. I think it's the 10th. We'll be coming back that Saturday, and I think Mother's Day is on Sunday. And so I need to have her socks done. My forehead is dry. And I have her birthday socks, so I need to figure out her Mother's Day socks. So I have two options. So I have some more Cozy Toes. It's like a sunset almost. What's this colorway? Balloon Brigade. Okay, whatever. So I have two of these, which going through and trying to decide when I'm going to cone up. That could be a pair that I'm going to cone up. Or I have, so my local yarn store is Palouse Yarn Company. Well, I mean, technically in Moscow, that's one of mine. It's my favorite. One of my local yarn stores is Paradise Fibers. Unfortunately, they had a fire, and so I don't think they're open to the public right now. They're doing online orders, but let me get resituated. But I don't know that they're open to the public. That's why I didn't go there to buy my yarn for my pants. Else I would have. So they had a fire on their loading dock, which caused quite a bit of havoc. So the building, they're in a really old building in downtown Spokane, and it's a super cool old building. I don't know what it used to be, but their loading dock caught on fire. They think somebody started it, but they're not sure. And it ended up burning some of the building. And being it's an old building, they had to get asbestos testing and things like that. Well, there's videos where everything is in plastic bags because of the smoke damage. So they don't have, they're getting new yarn because it's, you know, they ordered new and they're dealing with insurance and things like that. But I don't think they're open to the public because I don't think their front door's been fixed. So anyways, I can't go there. Sad, I know, but I have another really amazing one. It's called Hook and Needle Nook. Smaller, but still just as fire. It's bomb. Super cute. Anyways, so January maybe? It's trash day. You can hear them picking up the trash cans. January, I think. Maybe. Cascade Yarn Company did a yarn tasting at Paradise Fibers. They also do one at the Hook and Needle Nook, and I usually go. Cascade is a Seattle-based company, a family-owned Seattle-based company. Well, they do a yarn tasting every year, and one of the owners from Cascade brings all kinds of yarns and all kinds of samples and different things like that. And usually every time you win something. So in this bag is what I won from the yarn tasting. So you get your little tickets, you put it in, they draw. Sometimes they draw until somebody wins. If you don't win, sometimes you just get handed stuff, which is really cool because she brings in a lot of yarn. So these little guys come with patterns. I won this one as well. I won two because my husband went and they gave him a ticket and he won, and he's like, what am I going to do with this? So I ended up giving this to somebody else. But I kept the pattern. I gave them the yarn. I was on their Superwash Wave. And it had 2 skeins of yarn. It had enough to make these. And so this one is a pattern using their Cascade Fixation yarns. So in previous episodes, I've told you guys that my mother-in-law is allergic to wool. I'm going to test that theory because she is embroidering wool socks right now. Well, actually she's done, but we'll see how she did, if it made her itch. Anyways, in my little bag, I won 2 balls of Cascade Fixation in their splash color line, and these are, it's Cascade, so of course there's no colors. 102. This is a color. But it's really, this really pretty, like, red, white, blue kind of thing. It's a 98.3% cotton, 1.7% spandex. I don't know if you can see that. It's not focusing. Okay, so you can use this for socks. I have 4 more balls of this, 5 more balls of this upstairs, but I have to go through my bins. One of these days I'm going to take everything out and reorganize it because I really need to. But you can knit socks out of this. This is considered a light, so it's a DK-ish. I call it a DK. So it knits up on size 5 to 9 needles. It's 100 yards. One ball is 100 yards. So size 5 needles, that's pretty large. It's bigger than my 3s that I knit all my other DK socks on. So I don't imagine these are going to take me very long to knit. But I'm debating, because I'm going to have to hand knit these because I don't have a cylinder that can handle this yarn yet. I'm hoping that my husband's buying me a 48 cylinder for my Earl Walker Gerhardt Speedster knitting machine. That's what I asked for my birthday. We'll see if I can, we'll see if I get it. It bounces. We'll see if I get it. I really want one. I want a smaller one. I don't necessarily need to go bigger. I really want a smaller cylinder. So I can do like DK yarn socks and socks for smaller people using Lycra. So anyways, so I'm debating on casting these on. I really like the colors. And I have a Seahawks color and I have a pink. She picked out the other balls of this when we were up in OMAC. She picked them out. I told her I'd make her socks. I haven't made her socks out of it yet. So I guess it's probably time that I do that. So I'm thinking about doing those, casting those on for her for Mother's Day. We'll see. I found a pattern, use size 5 needles. It's a free pattern. Use size 5 needles, cast on 42 stitches. I don't imagine it will take me very long. I mean, if I sit down and just do it, it doesn't take me very long. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll cast those on today. I have test knits I need to finish, and here I am saying, you know what? Let me just cast on something new. But I do need to have them done. If I can get them done early, that saves me some time. Right? Isn't that how this works? If I get them done early, I don't know. I need to decide what I'm going to do. I know I need to put some yarn on some cones to crank some socks. Check back with me next month and see what I did wrong. Or what I did. Not did wrong. See what I did. See what I decided. It's probably going to be cast on today. If I have a set of size 5s close by. I might not. I wonder if I have any double points. Do I want to use double points? Not really. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, so that's my plan. So, sorry, that was Teams. So that's my plan for sure. I need to get her some, I need to cast on some socks for her for Mother's Day, which I really want to do those. I don't want to do the other ones. They don't look very Mother's Day. They look more fall-y. Those could be Christmas socks. And then, so that's one of my plans. I need to finish my test knit, my other test knit sock. There's going to be a lot of individual socks cast on. I have a feeling we have, so I have my test knit for, we're talking about plans now, I guess we're going to call it plans. So so I need to cast on the second sock to the Only the Good Things, but only one sock was required during testing process to be finished, which mine is finished. I want to, hold on, let me grab the yarn so we can talk about it together. Alrighty, so why not we, right? We is good. So I have my Yarnable subscription every month, and last year my goal was to knit a pair of socks, DK socks, out of my DK yarn for the whole month, or for the whole year. So this is my blanket that I crocheted from all of my fingering weight scraps behind me. Hennifer and Egbert are chilling too. So I didn't finish my socks. The green and red socks right here was a pair. So I have 3 left. So I don't want to make everything ding like I did last time when I had my computer turned on, or my work turned on. So I have October. This is Sorcerer's Secret and Spellbound. Very Halloween-y. Very. Which I think these might be for me. I have November. So I got pretty close. So this was September, October. This is November. It reminds me so much of turkey and cranberry sauce. So this is Cinnaberry Blush. And this is Sinful Delight. So here's this one. This pair might be for me too. And then December is Frosty Fox and Arctic Chill. Reminds me of, I don't even know. So these are my last 3 in my Yarnable DK subscription for 2023. Well, I say last 3. And so my plans are, I want to try and get one of these sets cast on for the next 3 months. So April, May, and June, and get those done so that I can say that those are done and I can have 3 more pairs of socks. I don't know. I have this idea for a pair of socks and I think I just need to cast them on and do it and see how it turns out. But I just don't, I don't want to just knit vanilla. To me, vanilla is kind of boring at times. That's why I'm cranking my vanilla socks. And so, I don't know. We'll see. I should spend the time today and crank up and ball up this pair. And at least I can get it balled up and my ribbing done, and then I can go from there. So these are plans. I want to get these done in the next 3 months. Let me put those there. Because then, like I said, that's 3 more that are done, which would be exciting. In my eyes, that would be exciting for me. Working on these. Finishing up some whips. I really want to. I don't know that I want to cast on anything new. I did get yarn to cast on a hat, a Musselburgh hat by Isolde Teague. I have one on the needles right now that I didn't bring to show you guys. It's upstairs, hanging out. It's just my vanilla knitting, I guess, instead of socks. I have a test knit, another test knit for Nancy. It's almost done. I'm on the heel flap and gusset. I've done the heel flap and gusset. It's time to turn, or it's time to pick up the gusset stitches. It's a color work pattern. We can't show you. A pair of DK socks, cranking socks. I have been washing some fleece. So I told you that I got a fleece, 3 fleeces, 2 fleeces and a blanket, because I think llama is considered a blanket, not a fleece. One of them was $5. I've had my work cut out for me in that $5 fleece. So it can be either a hobby fleece, or you can pick out the better fibers and not have just a hobby fleece. Craft fleece, not hobby, craft. Dryer balls, things like that. Regardless of what I'm going to use it for, I have to get it clean, no matter what. Whether I'm going to just felt with it, dryer ball it, whatever, I have to clean it. And it has been, it was $5, so I'm getting my money's worth, I guess. So my husband's going to build me a picker this summer. And basically a picker, you take your fluff, you send it through this contraption. It's a wood box. They make swing pickers, but they're really expensive and they look dangerous. And I'm a little scared because I'm not exactly the most graceful. I'm very klutzy. So he's going to build me a little one. I bought the plans. He's gonna go buy it, all the stuff for it, and he's gonna build it for me, which I'm really excited about. But the fleece that I'm currently cleaning, because my llama isn't very dirty, and then my other fleece I got, it's dirty, but the shepherdess, is that what they're called, pre-skirted the fleece for me. So literally all I have to do is wash it, card it, whatever I'm going to do with it, and then spin it. It's so good. And so I need to keep working on this one. Like, when I say I'm getting a workout, I have cleaned this one that I'm going to show you 3 times, and it still has stuff in it. But my picker is supposed to help break it up and in larger batches. And so I'm really hoping that once I get it all washed and I can send it through the picker, like, I'll have a better understanding how clean it, like how nice it's gonna be once it's done. It's a Suffolk Doppler cross sheep, and I have some of it here. So it doesn't smell like a sheep anymore, but you can see the tips. I tried to brush them out with my flicker, and then I was just like, I don't have the patience currently for this. And so it's got white in it, it's got black, it's still got veggie matter in it, like right here there's some. But my picker, you put this, not this much, but you would take some of this and you put it in and you go back and forth, and it has like nails on it that opens up blocks and makes it easier to get some of this dirt out, and then I can wash it a second time if I have, or a third or fourth time if I have to, I guess is what it would technically be. But here's some of it as well. It's darker. But upstairs, I have upstairs currently some soaking in water to try to help loosen it. So this is something that I've been working on as well, trying to get it as clean as possible so I can put it in a bag and I can take it out to the lake with us when we head out for the season, for me to have something to do. But that's something I'm working on. Before I put my other fleeces through a picker, I wanted to do it on that one since that was only $5. If I screw it up, if I mess it up, I'm just going to stick it in my garden beds for mulch. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. That's one of the beauties of fleece. None of my fleece none of my whole fleeces I spend a lot of money on. They like, I know coated, like when a sheep is coated, like those can be spendy. Mine, I think I spent, one of them is 8 pounds and I spent $54 on it. That doesn't seem unreasonable to me. It's a Shetland. I love Shetland, so that's great. Like I said, this is a Doppler Suffolk cross. So I don't know what the proportions are, or the what is it? The breed. So I don't know if it's 50%, whatever it is. But I'm getting Suffolk fleeces come the springtime. My son's girlfriend's uncle and friends raise Suffolks because they raise sheep for meat, and that's what a Suffolk generally is. But they do have really nice fleeces, or they can have really nice fleece. And so I'm really excited, but I don't know how much I'm getting, but I know I'm getting quite a bit. And so one of the things my husband and I were talking about was, once I get them and I get them skirted and maybe clean them, possibly sending them off to a mill and having them milled. I don't know if I'd mill them into yarn or if I just mill them into roving. and then spin it myself. I have to look at it. I'll have to see what I get. Not knowing 100% what I'm like, what they're gonna look like, because I've only seen pictures and videos of these sheep. I've never actually seen these sheep. They're over in Oregon, but they're co-op. They have a co-op, and they literally just throw them away. But Suffolk doesn't generally felt that easily, so it's really great for socks and outerwear, because it's not super soft, which is fine, because that's what I want to make with it anyways, is socks. So we'll see what happens. I'm getting it all for free, so I don't know how much I'm going to get, but we'll see what happens. I will be busy sheep washing, fleece washing this summer again, which is fine. So those are ideally my plans going forward with knitting and spinning. I want to finish up my test knit. I want to finish up my shawl, but I won't finish it this month. Finish my pants, finish my socks. Hopefully today I'll get a dent on my socks if I don't start this pair, which I'm itching to start those, to cast them on, get some socks cranked, things like that. Let's see, what else did we did? I haven't read any books or listened to any books. My husband and I, we finished This Is Us. I cried so bad. It was so good though. It was great. It was a really good show. We're watching Royal Pains right now on Netflix. We just pick a season or a series and watch it from start to finish. I've been watching my usual podcasts, so Knit All the Things, Needles at the Ready, Piece for Piece Crafting, Sweet Tea No Shade is back after 8 months of not podcasting. Those two are hilarious. Bowl and Vine on occasion. Knit Sip Happy, Nancy, she has a new episode up, and I watched that the other day while I was working. I have to watch something or listen to something to keep myself entertained. I get bored staring at my computer all day long, so I have to have something going, whether it's in my ears like music or a book or like a TV show or something. I always need something that I can listen to. So my podcasts, music. I'm excited for the new Taylor Swift album coming out on the 19th. I can't wait for that. I am excited about the weather getting warmer. I'm ready for it. I'm tired of it being cold here. I get to wear all my knitwear, but I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the cold and the rain. Let's see what else. I've been trying to decide what I'm going to work on knit-wise down at the lake, but I haven't come up with anything yet. I'm looking at my paper, at my notebook that I have. So we talked about my DK yarn, my test knits for Nancy, which one is almost finished, all the cotton bamboo socks out of the universal yarn, my test knit sweater, which is done, my test knit pants. I want to cast on another muscle burrow hat, which I have the yarn for. Spinning, we talked about my plans, my cleaning and my processing of my fluff, as we call it. I think that's it for hanging out with me. I know it was a lot of rambles, a lot of nonsense, a lot of socks, a lot of all the things that it is. So, well, thank you guys. I hope you have a great day, a great month, great April. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.